Hey, bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you again and again and again for being with us. Yes. Ah, whew. We're talking about consequences of doing wrong. Yes, we keep thinking about how easy it is to do things. Little things like we get comfortable in, like spitting on the sidewalk, jaywalking, you know, little things that we have gotten comfortable in. We don't think about these things anymore because it's so commonplace. And same thing is with infidelity. We've been cheating for so long, cheating so much. It's like, eh, no problem, no big thing. Then we say, why get married? Why go through the trouble of making vows, telling lies to each other? Say, I'm going to do this to the death do us part and the goods and bad and I'll be with you. But then again, do we really mean these things? But once you put that vow, once you put that promise involved in it, once you put something that says that I'm committed, it's like a holding thing. It's like, wow, you did something now that you didn't have to do. So we have to think about these things. We have to think about uh, how you say when we tell each other a vow, make a vow, it's a promise, it's a sacrifice, and it's a commitment. And in that commitment, we put ourselves on that line. It's almost like a promise to do something for someone, and you don't fulfill your promise. You're like, okay, well, I was thinking about doing it, I was gonna do it, but that promise hold tight because this is the type of promise that we just don't play with. And since we don't play with it, and we have that place where in our heart that wow, we put God involved in it of all people. So leave God out of it if you're not gonna be for real. But this is what's going on today. We don't think about the consequences, the price that we have to pay when we mess up, when we do wrong. So, what is the what is the key to this? What is the solution to this? They call it repentance. They call it having a sorrow. They call it ask for forgiveness, and then changing your ways. Changing your ways. You get comfortable. We get carefree. We get happy, pleasurable, all this stuff. And then when things go wrong, here we go like, oh, I didn't mean to do it. I mean, yes, you did mean to do it. Stop lying. It's just as bad as the action you did. So what happens now is that we really have to think about these things before we jump into a situation. And sometimes we just don't jump in a situation. We're put in a situation sometimes. It's like a case came up before about how we do things without really consulting each other, without even consulting ourselves, looking in the mirror, stuff like that. And so many times, and this is so sad, that our wives have put themselves on the line, put themselves in a situation where they give up their bodies for things that say for the family, more or less, right? One thing a life and death situation, a force to do something, uh, like I said, a life or death situation type thing, or either if you know that there's a suffering that's going to happen, and you try to alleviate, avoid the suffering, you might do a lot of things that you probably wouldn't ordinarily do. But some of the things that we do, just like giving up your body for the rent, you know what I mean? Uh, Giving up your body for a payment of a bill. That is so called prostitution. And we don't think about these things. But there's a consequences for prostitution. It's not legal and it's not lawful, but it happens. It happens. And we can't go around condemning and judging people. But the point of it is that we have to put ourselves in a position where come to your right mind, come to your right the senses, and then get it together. Stop doing these things. But what happens is that too many times we get so comfortable, so in tune to the situation that it become an addictive, an addiction. Yes, an addiction. And this is why so many times our beautiful women, our wives, put themselves in that position, whereas they don't think about things that can happen afterwards. Karma is no joke, but they don't want to believe it because now the shame and the guilt that come about. Okay, so if you have the shame and the guilt, you know you're guilty, but are you having the shame? Are you having that remorse? Are you having the pittiness? Or have it say of like, oh, I did something. I'm so sorry. This and that, the other. You know what I mean? And then if you go to your spouse and tell them, say, look, yeah, I have a confession. Oh, they might get upset. They might get mad. But then again, but within your heart, your mind, do that first within yourself. Do that first in yourself, and then go to the Almighty if necessary, all that anyway, to get it together, get it straight and get carried away. But we don't do that half the time, most of the time. But we just go ahead on suffer in silence, have that trauma hanging over our heads, and now you embed it into a wrong bed, and you're doing things that you well just was going to enjoy it now, boom, 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 boom. Like, no, I'm here, right now, pleading and begging you wonderful people that yes, you did it. Yes, you're doing it. But please, by all means, cut it down, cut it off, cut it out. And then even if you don't confess to your spouse right here, right now, just depend and trust that things gonna come about better. Things gonna be better. Things gonna be all right for you. Don't keep holding on to the garbage because there's a cost. There's a cost. There's a cost for doing the garbage and doing the wrong. Because we have told that unless you repent, unless you have that sorrow, a godly sorrow, not because you got busted, got you coming out of somebody's hotel room with somebody you had no business doing, and now all of a sudden, oh honey, oh please, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. It was a mistake. It was not a mistake. So that's another lie. And then you compiling those wrongs on top of each other that says that, okay, well, I'm not doing it this way, but right here, right now, I'm here. I'm here to confess within my own self, my own soul, that I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. They can beg, they can borrow, they can try, but I have to depend on life. And then talk to your spouse. Talk to the one that you say you love. Talk to the one that you talked to before you got involved with the situation. Because sometimes we didn't have to get into this situation. We shouldn't even be there in the situation if you knew have the feeling that it wasn't right for you. But then sometimes we let a spouse talk us into things, push us into a situation, how you say, influences into a situation called marriage or relationship. And then we didn't know that they were crazy, didn't know they were jealous, they didn't know that we didn't know that they were off the chain, and then get involved with something that we can't handle. But even that, prayer changes things. Confession changes things. Forgiveness changes things. And that's what we have to do sometimes, all the time, really. So think about these things when we get involved in another situation, in another place where our heart is broken. We have that fear, we have that guilt over our heads, and now we feel like we've been thrown under the bus. We've kicked to the curb, you know, just like with our situation going now, right? She gave up her body to a man that she didn't love, but he was pursuing her, giving her compliments, making her feel relaxed, making her feel good about herself. So she didn't want to hurt his feelings. So the situation continued for 2 years. But in the meantime, she's still trying to reach out for her husband. And her husband was like, well, I don't care. It don't matter to me. He was so inconsiderate. His wife was reaching out to him by asking for how you say, a picnic. Let's go out for a minute. Let's have these talks. Let's do this. Let's do that. His wife was doing this. It's thing that he should do. And the men should grab these things, pick up on them. Because now she's in a place. But when she finds out that he knew all along for 2 whole years that she was messing around, didn't really want to be there, but she was there, the husband could have grabbed her up and covered her, protected her, and then loved her like nobody else. And she would have been right there for him and with him. And since he already knew that she was messing up, they could have forgiven each other and then go on about their business and have a wonderful, blessed life. But the consequences now is that he still might divorce her. He's now not going to trust her, and she can't trust her husband no more, because how can you go trust somebody that know that know that you're doing things and then they don't say anything about it? That's not covering. That's not protection. That's not providing. That is not trustworthy. So therefore, we have to come to realization that who can you trust? And when she in that situation of locking herself in a room, going through that trauma, going through the heartaches and heartbreaks of knowing that she was guilty, knowing that her husband didn't care, even though he said, I care now, but he have to really prove himself now that he cares for her. Prove himself that he loves her, and then help her to come through, help her to be reestablished in life. In life. Because see, when you're in that place, that position, next thing is like checking out. 'Cause, oh, like my confession, right? It's like she told me one day something that I didn't really want to hear. She got the engagement ring and everything. And then next thing I know, it's like, oh, you're smothering me. Da da da. I didn't know that. So then she said something else that really makes every man feel not uncomfortable, but like less than a man. Well, you're not really doing this for me, to complete me, to hold me, to fulfill me. Well, why didn't you say that a long time ago when we first started getting together? But now I go off the deep end, and next thing I know, I'm in a quiet place, overlooking the ocean, overlooking the ocean, with pain going through my body because I was checking out and didn't know it. Where was I from 8 o'clock that night to 5 o'clock in the morning? See, this is what can happen when you get distraught, when you get in that place that you are traumatized by bad messages. You're traumatized and you're now ready to go away from here because you don't think about going away from here. You just think about the pain. You're thinking about the darkness. You're thinking about the why they do this to you. And so many guys out there now, oh baby, I can't live without you. I just gotta have you. You this, that, the other. Why did you treat me this way? Why did you uh why did you betray the trust? Well, did you check on her? So from then on, I had to learn to watch. I had to learn to be there so that I can notice things about people. Get to know your spouse, get to know your person, get to know them as a friend. And then can I trust you? Can I be there for you and with you? And then you proving yourself to me, and I'm proving myself to you, then we can go from there. But then again, I have to be in a place where I have to be able to trust one person that I know is going to cover me and got my back. That one person. And that one person also is covering my spouse. Just like that. So therefore, we are one in the spirit, one in the flesh. Her body doesn't belong to her totally completely. So when someone come up, start to rolling up on her, talking to her, you should know about it because you can feel it. Because that's like somebody is pinching you. Somebody is beating you down. You have that feeling in your heart. You have that emotional trauma. You have that, what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's becoming a separation like in your body. She is now pulling away from you that oneness, pulling your limbs, pulling your body, pulling your head, your eyes. Something's going wrong. Know that. And then how you approach the situation will become better. So, with that in mind, wonderful people, I really want to just bring it to you as a short today to let you know there are consequences in wrongdoing, consequences in your betrayal, in our mess up, in our infidelity, mine too. You know what I mean? Mine too. So therefore, just like with this wonderful, wonderful wife, yes, she was wrong. She was dead up wrong. And her husband was also wrong. So therefore, we can't, how you said, the pot can't talk about the kettle. We have to get it together right here, right now. Discuss these things with each other. Talk about it. So if anybody wants to, like say, discuss things or talk about it, or just somebody to listen to, hit me up. Please hit me up. Uh, and my phone number is there. Just go to uh, Desire to Excel at People in Love, people at PEOPLE, the letter NLUV.com, and just send me a little message, send me a note. Let me know that you want to talk. Let me know that you got a problem, you got an issue, you want a concern, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. And we can do this thing because right now we are so involved with this mess up, with these infidelities and stuff, betrayal, adulteries. 50% of marriages winds up in divorce. Why? It's not just because, oh, we ain't making enough money. We're making plenty of money. In fact, greed is overshadowing all the stuff that we talk about. Lust also. We discussed that thing too, right? Defeating lust, pornography, defeating uh, addictions. All addictions, including sexual addiction, is very, very, very hard. Defeating infidelity, defeating depression. And depression can move in because of this infidelity thing. You can be depressed, and next thing you know, 2,000 people a day, 2,000 people per day, 1,000,000 people a year are checking out of here through suicide. 2,000 people a day. We don't think about these things like this in that number, in that framework, but we should. We should. We should think about 60 to 70% of women that are involved with marriage, relationship, cheats. Why? So the husband really have to step up, become the priest of the house, become the provider, become the protector, and then know his wife. And then she should get to know him. And then not only, well, she got to respect him, you got to obey him. Well, how you going to obey somebody and respect somebody when you don't know left from right yourself? We have to come up to that maturity of knowing how to be a husband, knowing how to be a leader, knowing how to be a provider. Okay, well, we can provide. Oh yeah, providing usually for money, shelter. But how do we know to be a priest in our own home and to be able to say, I love my spouse, I love my family, my children, and then I'm covering them I'm covering them no matter what. So with that in mind, wonderful people, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you. And like I said, hit me up. And we're here available for conversation. Talk with me. And we just talk. Maybe I may have an answer. Maybe I don't. But sometimes you just want to listen. And I'm here to listen with understanding, not to give you a whole bunch of technical situations, yada yada yada, all this little garbage. No, but I'm here for you, with you, and we can pray together. We can meditate together, and then you can talk, and I'll listen. All right now, but then again, I'm sending out a landing page, landing page about the situation, how overcome overcome those five things that we just mentioned. Yes, not to say that we are here to uh, criticize, condemn, and complain about, judge what's been used, but we're here to use the gospel and the gospel principle and strategies to overcome any situation. And this like, if God said He promised something, and I'm quite sure and I know that He's able to fulfill His promises. So let's get together and start to plan and then comply to the will of God of all things. So with it in mind, wonderful people, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And like I said before, there are consequences in breaking the law. And that law is the rule that was set from before the time began. Don't play with the karma, because what goes around come around. What happens in the dark will come to the light. And then sometimes a punishment may not be what you like or what you want. Think about it. Because death is the final situation. And with that in mind, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bless you. And like I said, get people to subscribe to this YouTube. I need you. I need your numbers. I need to get out there throughout the world, because who knows when this thing gonna come down. Our blessing is always in the hands of the Almighty. So think about policies. Think about the gospel. Think about the principles of the gospel. Not to beat you across the head with the Bible, but use biblical principles like kindness, peace, joy. Those things we need just to survive each and every day. How to carry on and then be a better person for our own self and for our family. All right? With that in mind, take care. God bless you, bless you, bless you. And subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Bye now. Oh, and don't forget, Wednesday night, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Our broadcast, regular broadcast live on YouTube. People in Love DMD. People in Love MD. One word. Think about it. Come to my channel, subscribe to my channel, and then just talk. Let's talk. Talk about it. Send me a hey, how you doing? What up? I don't believe this and I don't like that. It's okay. We can do that. We can do that. Okay. Thank you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Take care. Peace and grace.